street, 919fm.com. Here's what's happening.
Good afternoon, I am Vanessa Thomas with the 12 o'clock news on the street, 919 FM, and online, Facebook and YouTube. In the headlines, the United National Congress and its supporters protest against the increase in gas prices. Schools reopen across the island for over 200,000 students. And internationally, at least 6 dead as multiple explosions hit Kabul schools. And now the news in detail. Opposition leader Mrs. Kamla Prasad-Visasa is heading a protest with supporters that started early this morning to stand up against the gas price increase today. Protesters shouted a chant, "Rowley must go," while holding placards. The UNC is calling on the government to withdraw the hike in fuel prices, saying the increase will cause additional hardship on the population as the cost of living will go up again. The Enough is Enough protest has seen supporters of the UNC demanding the removal of the increase in gas prices, calling it a draconian measure, in the words of Dr. Rudal Monilal. Protests have been happening all morning across the south and north of the island. There are 30 locations throughout the country where UNC-planned protests are taking place. Meanwhile, the TTPS informs that while it recognizes the right of citizens to protest, it asks that such actions are done with respect to the law, warning that criminal laws broken during protests will be dealt with accordingly. In other news, over 200,000 students are back out to over 1,600 schools, including early childhood centers, primary and secondary across the island today. After 2 years of not being in a classroom, children were seen plastered all over social media in their brand new uniforms as they made their way to school. Classes started at its regular time, 8:30 a.m., and will end at 3 p.m. Face masks are to be worn all day, and parents are asked to talk to their children about the importance of personal safety in the classroom and out on the playground on break and lunch times. Meanwhile, President of the State Police Association, Derek Richardson, said there are some concerns among MTS guards who are responsible for guard duties at government schools as they were not being paid on time. In other news, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley leaves the country today for Barbados to participate in a series of talks with high-level U.S. representatives. Dr. Rowley will be attending a round-the-table discussion on de-risking and correspondent banking. Other CARICOM heads of government will also be in attendance, including Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley. Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs Dr. Amy Brown will accompany the Prime Minister on this trip. Finance Minister Colm Imbert will act as Prime Minister until Dr. Rowley's return. Internationally, at least 6 people have been killed and 11 others injured after multiple explosions rocked a high school and educational center in western Kabul on Tuesday. It was not immediately clear how many of the dead were students, but 7 injured children were taken to hospital. The Abdul Rahim Shahid High School was hit with 3 explosions. The other facility attacked was the Mumtaz Educational Center. There has been no official claim of responsibility for the apparent attack, and it is possible the death toll could rise. And that was the 12 o'clock news on the street, 919 FM, and online, Facebook and YouTube. Recapping the headlines. The United National Congress and its supporters protest against the increase in gas prices. Schools reopen across the island for over 200,000 students. Internationally, at least 6 dead as multiple explosions hit Kabul schools. Do enjoy your afternoon and continue to be safe. I am Vanessa Thomas.